Hello, everybody. This is Stephanie Deaver with Keller Williams Mount Juliet, and I am here today to show you how to basically do everything in Command in order to get paid for a commission. So I'm going to walk you through the start to finish process of how to connect documents through Dotloop into your Command account and everything you need to do in Command in order to submit for commissions submit for compliance to get paid on your commission. So let's dive in and let's get started. All right, I have logged into my Command account, and the first thing we want to do is if you have not connected your Dotloop account to Command, we're going to set that up. So if you go up to this top right corner, click on the drop down by your name and click on Settings. Once this page loads, it takes you to a page where it has all of your connected accounts here. Now, I have already connected my Dotloop, so it pops up right here for me, but let me show you where to go. You won't see Dotloop on this page. What you need to do to access that is go to Connect More Apps. It's going to open up a new tab with marketplace.kw.com. On this marketplace is where we need to find the Dotloop application. And typically it's under featured apps, and a lot of times it's on this second page right here. And when I go to find it, it's not there today. Let me search. Okay, here we go, Dotloop. Now, on your screen, there's going to be a button in this gray bar up here that says Activate. You will click that Activate button. It's going to act like you're purchasing something for your account, but it'll say that it's $0. So go ahead and continue with that, and yes, hit Purchase. But again, it won't cost you anything. And then go through that, and then it will go ahead and get Dotloop set up for you. So when you go ahead and refresh your Command page right here on the Settings tab, you will see Dotloop. Now, when you see Dotloop, it's going to say either connection failed or it did not connect or something like that. So what you'll do is you'll say connect, and then it's simply going to ask you to sign in using your username and password for Dotloop. Once you sign in with your username and password for Dotloop, it will show like this, that your Dotloop account is connected. So that's the very first step if you haven't done that before. You only have to do that once. Once it's connected once, you are all good to go. All right, now, let's say you are working with a client. So I'm gonna go into contacts over here on the right, this little people icon. And I'm doing this before I'm even working with a client. I'm going in and adding them in as a contact before I've even met with them. All right, putting in their name, personal email, example client at example.com. And their phone number is 123-555. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's their example phone number. All of this can stay right here, and I can hit create. Okay, maybe it was. Let's try that. Okay, so now I have example client here in my database in Command. So I'm going to click on that client. Over here is where I see their information. So I can see their phone number, their email, things like that. Okay, over on this right-hand side is where I can see a timeline of interactions with this client. So you can add different things. Then the next tab is opportunities, smart plans, tasks, notes, save searches. All right, today, what we want to do to be able to start a transaction with this person, with this client, you're going to want to click on opportunities. So you're going to click right here, and then we're going to create an opportunity. All right. So it is pulling up my information right here, my market center, my name as the owner. Listing type, be sure to check which listing type it is, whether it's a listing, or sorry, opportunity type. Whether it's a listing or a buyer. Be sure to check this and change this if it's a buyer, because you cannot go back and change it afterwards. So I'm going to pretend this is a listing for my example client right here. And so because I'm under their contact page, it's automatically connecting them here. Okay, opportunity name, it says client/listing. It's always going to take that last name and then say listing, but we want to make it into an example here, you want to make this the property address. So in my property here, it's going to be 123 Example Road. Okay, and then if I want, I can add listing behind it. So for my my purposes, I can keep things more organized. So again, if it's a listing, you're going to put the property address right here. If it's a buyer, you can put their last name and then buyer, but once you're under contract on a property, change the opportunity name to the property address. All right, we are going to pretend that this is going to close at the end of August. Let's just say they're going to list for $300,000 on their home. Commission rate for me as an agent will be 3%. And for right now, I haven't met with them yet. I'm maybe talking about what it might look like having me as their agent to sell their home. So they're in that cultivate phase, and right now they're pretty hot. We've been having quite a few discussions, so I'm going to put them as a stage of hot. Now I'm going to click create opportunity. All right, so now on this home page for my client, for my contact here you can see Example Road, and notice that this is a clickable link. So I can go right here and it takes me to the opportunity details right now, but I also want to show you where else you can access this. So this was all going through contacts. You can also go over here. This little handshake icon means opportunities. So you can go to opportunities, and here's where you can see I have one in that listing cultivate section. And so that was the one I just added in. If I click on that, here I can see 123 Example Road listing. All right, again, I still haven't met with this client yet, but you know, I'm getting ready to, and I might need some paperwork. So what I'm gonna do, when I clicked on the name of that opportunity, the road right there, it brings me to our details page. This is the details page where it gives me information about this listing, about this opportunity or transaction. There are little pencil buttons here where you can edit information at any time. All right, the next thing we want to do is we're going to go over to this Documents tab. This is what's actually going to help get me set up to do paperwork for this client. One thing I want to do is I do want to select which checklist type this is, and this is going to be a residential property. So what that does when I click residential, it makes these folders over here on the left, and in these folders it has different checklists of items and paperwork documents that you might need during your transaction. These are simply, these gray lists right here are simply just like a checklist. It's not any document, it's not clickable or anything like that. In order to actually access the files and get signatures and things like that, I need to work through Dotloop. And how I can connect the two is by hitting this Start a Transaction button. So this is actually going to start a transaction in Dotloop for me. It's going to create a loop for me. And this is a listing loop. And so it's going to take a template there. And it's loading and thinking. And now what that just did is command told Dotloop to make a loop in Dotloop for me. So let me open up Dotloop here. Be picky for me. Oh, here we go. Okay. So now if you look and see, this new listing just came up in my Dotloop account. So this is a loop that it just made for me from Command. So what that means is that Command and this Dotloop account are now synced. And when it comes time to take documents from Dotloop and put them into Command for compliance, they're already linked and it's going to be super smooth and easy. So within these documents here now, exclusive right to sell, it's actually pulling from Command that my seller is example client. It pulled their information there. I can put in the property address. So that was 123 example road. All right, and I can put in Mount Juliet. And then I can add in all this other information, but I'm going to say okay and autofill. So now it's putting in my client's name, it's putting in the property address into my documents. So now as a realtor, I would go in and add all my documents, and then I would get signatures from my clients on these documents for this and save that all within Dotloop. So all of your signatures are still going to be happening in Dotloop. That's still your signature platform. All right, now let's fast forward. Let's pretend that I've been working with this client for a month now. We went on the market, we went active, and now we are under contract on the property. We have a buyer all set up for this house, and we are good to go, we're under contract. So what that means now that we're under contract is I need to submit for compliance because our closing is going to be coming up. So we have fast forwarded in this whole process. So what that means is that I am no longer in that cultivate phase. I can go here and I can edit, and where it says opportunity phase, I can actually say that we are now under contract. And let's just say we're in the appraisal stage right now, and I can save that. And just so you know, if I go back out to my opportunities homepage back here, notice now there is no longer a 1 in my cultivate. And now I said that we are under contract. And there you see my listing in this section right here. And let's say I moved over into here, you can actually drag and drop these. All right, now I'm gonna click back on here and I'm gonna go back to documents. This is what you need to do in order to pull your documents into Command now, because we cannot see them in Command because they haven't been pulled over from Dotloop. All right, so in my checklist here, under the listing folder, I have exclusive right to sell. That was that document we were just working on. I went over here and I clicked add a file on the right. Now I'm gonna click on the Dotloop option. And now what it's doing is this is specifically that loop in Dotloop where I've been working with those documents, getting those signatures. This is all of the documents that are in that loop, in that 123 example road loop. So let's say my exclusive right to sell listing agreement is all signed and completed. I'm going to check that box and click assign. Now a flat PDF version from that document in Dotloop is now permanently stored here in Command. So it is brought over and it is a flat PDF. If for some reason I didn't have signatures on here and later I got signatures in Dotloop, those signatures will not automatically come over. This is a flat PDF of when I uploaded it just at that moment. So you will do the same thing for all of your required documents. Click add a file, click on Dotloop, and find the correct document. Confirmation of agency, bring that over. And you will keep doing that until you have all of your files, both under the listed or under contract. Now, let's just say under contract, there is a spot right here for amendment to the purchase and sale agreement. But for instance, you might have 2 or 3 amendments. And so in this case, there's only one spot right here. What I can do is I can hit add an item, enter document name, so I can put purchase and sale agreement amendment number 2. And I can say this is an addendum, and I'm gonna select this from Dotloop, and we'll just pretend, this listing checklist was actually my amendment number 2. So then you'll see down at the bottom, it added this purchase and sale number 2. Another thing you can do that's helpful is if you click this file button, it'll actually show you, it'll order from top to bottom all of the documents you have added documents to. All right, so let's just pretend I have entered in all of the documents that I need for compliance. My last step is under each of these folders listed and under contract. Notice how they say open. Open means I have documents added, but that's all I've done is add documents. What I'm gonna do now is click submit to MC. So that means submit to Market Center. That means I'm ready for you to read this for compliance and see if I am all compliant. So I would go ahead and click submit to MC, and over here it would say submitted under each of these contracts, or under each of these folders, I'm sorry. Let me go to a different opportunity to show you what it looks like once it's been read for compliance. So after you've submitted in a 24-hour turnaround, these should then be read for compliance. So this is a different opportunity that I've already had read previously. So I click submit earlier, and then here you see returned and you see approved. So that means everything in this under contract folder is correct. Everything's up to date. I don't need anything else. But on my listed, it says rejected for my confirmation of agency. And notice there's this little note right here. And it says, if I click on it, it says document needs to be signed by the seller to be complete. Okay. So, and I can see that note over here when I click on the side, rejection reason. Document needs to be signed by the seller to be complete. Okay. So in my pretend world, I forgot to get a signature from the seller on this. And then what I can do is I can just replace the file once I have that correct updated document. And once all of your rejected items have been updated, you can just resubmit to MC for compliance. So this is kind of the ins and outs, the basics of adding in a client, starting an opportunity, creating a loop through that opportunity into Dotloop. You're getting all your signatures in Dotloop, and then once you're under contract and ready to submit for compliance, you bring those documents over into Command and submit for compliance. I hope this video has helped you. Thank you so much.